All right, guys. So LR Bio Broly. And LR Bio Broly actually has a voiced intro as well. How about that? It is a huge monster pet peeve of mine when they do free-to-play characters and don't, like, they give them these beautiful animations and then they don't voice it. It bothers me so much. Like, GT Cell and Frieza have great looking animations and they've got an intro and it's not voiced. It's annoying. So this is a Prime Battle LR Bio Broly. He is going to be able to, you grind him from the event and we'll be able to easy him. There's a fourth stage where we get the easy medals right from the Prime Battle event itself. This Bio Broly seems really good. I think it's important to keep expectations for him in check. I mean, he's good under the constraints of the Uncontrollable Power team. So he is a perfect addition to, like, this exact setup. So the team is now complete. The reason this matters, Bio Broly here, instead of Int Fat Boo or maybe Harudagarn or something like that. Harudagarn, I mean, doesn't mesh the best with the team. You know, there's dodge canceling phases, blah, 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 blah. Int Fat Boo hurts Cell Max's condition. Bio Broly is Uncontrollable Power to fulfill Int Broly's condition. And then LR Bio Broly is a movie boss, so he'll fulfill Cell Max's condition. So now the team is going to be very fluid. Every single character on the team will fulfill Int Broly's condition, and every single character on the team will fulfill Cell Max's condition. So we are looking good. So Bio Broly should be quite good. Remember, he is a Big Bad Boss's character, so getting him right away next to Cell Max is definitely a good thing. Now, Bio Broly is going to be maybe a little weaker right at the start, right? So the way he works is he gets damage reduction when he supers. He gets 180% attack and defense and 30% damage reduction when Bio Broly actually supers, right? Then, if all allies are Uncontrollable Power, he gets another 30% damage reduction. So we're at 60%. And then every turn, Bio Broly gets crit and damage reduction by 6%, up to 30%. And then from the 7th turn onwards, his damage reduction starts going down. So, alright, so here's Bio Broly. He does have a high chance to crit, which we saw right there. This, I believe, is a guaranteed additional super, which he gets as part of his intro. Okay, sure. There's another. This is the Hidden Potential System additional super attack, I believe, right here. All right. Unfortunately, this got a destruction. Little bit of damage right there. And we do get a super. Okay, so potentially not a great start. I mean, we lived. He did live. Maybe it was a bad opener, but I mean, we are in the God event. I mean, these bosses can do a little bit of damage. But that's what I was talking about, is right away, Bio Broly can be a little bit weaker. And then as the fight is going to go on, it's going to get, like, he's going to become a lot more tanky, right? That's going to be a very similar type of thing that we saw happen to Int Broly in my showcase video, where Int Broly was supered by Champa. But remember, the Gods of Destruction, they're super class. They're not extreme class. So, like, Int Broly being supered by Champa, it's class disadvantage type disadvantage. And it's going to be the same thing with Bio Broly right there, where, you know, he got super attacked by, I can't remember what that god's name is, but it was class disadvantage type disadvantage. I don't think that super attack is too crazy, though. Let me double check what the damage is on that super. But I still think that Bio Broly will be a capable kind of, like, slot 2 and slot 3 character that we could utilize on this Uncontrollable Power team, right? Okay, I guess we'll just go ahead and toss Int Broly's domain right here. We'll go ahead and get this out. It's not going to hurt us to do this. Let's just go ahead and toss it real quick. Get this out. Alright, so this God of Destruction is Ewan. And he supers for 1.7 million, so I mean, that's definitely not that much, but once we factor in class disadvantage, type disadvantage, again, it's actually a very similar situation we saw with Int Broly. Alright, so we can just go ahead and do this. We'll put Tech Broly in the middle slot right there. That'll get his support up, and then the two Brolys can go ahead and cook Ewan. Remember that Int Broly, as long as the domain is up, Int Broly is basically going to be God. The problems that Int Broly is going to have is only if the domain is not up. So, next turn, Bio Broly is going to be significantly stronger, by the way, because now a couple of more rotations have passed where he's going to get extra damage reduction, and we also have Int Broly's domain up as well. Eventually, we could go ahead and pop Bio Broly's active. He does have a target mechanic, which is going to be really, really good, by the way. It's going to make him very effective. Alright, so I believe now, Bio Broly, we should be up to, I think, 72% damage reduction, I think is what we're up to right here with Bio Broly. Another thing that does happen, this is something that factored in last turn, is that as part of Bio Broly's intro, right, which as long as there's another Uncontrollable Power ally and the team, intro happens, then for first 4 rotations, Bio Broly gets 8 to 10 ki at the start of turn, guaranteed super, and then 26% HP will be recovered at the end of the turn. So we were able to actually take advantage of that, right? Alright, so we have Bio Broly and Cell Max, the goated rotation. It's funny, because Bio Broly and Cell Max do have huge similarities, actually, right? Between, like, how... Like, they actually are kind of the same exact character. They really are. It's pretty... Bio Broly and Cell Max are pretty much the exact same thing. It's just, like, it's, you know, the recreation of, like, a big villain. You know, Perfect Cell and Bio Broly, and then... and regular Broly, and then, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Alright, so let's see what Bio Broly does on this turn. Again, Cell Max certainly would be helped out. Having a Big Bad Boss's character around, again, is going to be nice for Cell Max to be able to have that Big Bad Boss's up. Damage and stuff like that's not going to be super crazy for Bio Broly, but it doesn't need to be. The team is very tight. I found the team to be very consistent, and the team to be pretty effective together. So, all Bio Broly, like, what we're looking for in that slot is just a character who could hold his own. I mean, his first turn is, you know, the weakest we're going to see. And, I mean, he can hold up at least a little bit. I mean, I guess I'm glad he did not die. That would have sucked. But as the fight goes on for a little bit, like, kind of in the middle part is where he's going to be at his best. I think that it should work well for Bio Broly to be at his best during some of the nastier phases. I mean, we'll see how things are going to go. I mean, if we're fighting the Cell Max fight or Blue Cow Kengoku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, certainly we could kind of get, you know, cooked or potentially smoked, maybe potentially by some of their super attacks. Because, you know, Blue Cow Ken, Evolution Blue Vegeta, they do a lot of damage. So it's something that we do have to be a little bit careful for. Alright, so... Sure, we'll go ahead and skip to Bio Broly's next rotation. I'm eager to get that active skill up. It is going to take quite a few turns, though, before we could get to that active skill. Alright, so we're moving on to our next rotation right here. Alright, so there's that domain gone. I figure we probably do want to just throw up this in Bio Broly's domain as well. Make sure that this is going to be up for us will help out quite a bit, so let's go ahead and toss it. This, of course, will give Bio Broly extra stats, right? It is... As long as Int Broly's domain is up, he is essentially functioning as kind of a support-type character as well, right? Kind of the same thing like AGL Dokkan Fest Broly can have, and blah, 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 blah. Now, when it comes to Bio Broly, I feel like there's going to be 2 ways to build him. You could either focus on his raw defense or dodge. I don't like any talk of, like, additionals or crits or raw attack or anything like that. I think just completely misses the mark with what this character is kind of intended to do and what they're going to do for you. The point is for this character to fill out the Uncontrollable Power team, and I think they accomplished that. I do think he's... I mean, this is an effective Prime Battle LR. So with 18 key super attack, he gets 50% attack and defense for 1 turn. Now his 12 key super attack, maybe this is a little bit unfortunate. It's only 50% attack for 1 turn, not any defense right there. Immense damage, and then he does lower enemy attack. Or not immense, colossal damage. Alright, so notice, By the way, now Bio Broly's intro is not up anymore, and notice the struggle that we're having with Ki right here. So, I mean, that is definitely a real thing, right? Like, we're struggling for Ki in a major way right there. And that's where, I mean, I guess this Uncontrollable Power team is not really going to have orb changers. I mean, I guess there is... Oh, okay. Alright, guys. Shenanigans afoot. Best to not underestimate some of these God event bosses. Okay, so here's kind of the big thing we can get to. Towards the very end, I guess, of what a lot of these fights are going to be like, we'll have access to Bio Broly's active skill, right? So we'll be able to do this active right here after the 6th turn. I believe it's Bio Broly's 6th turn. We'll be able to pop his active, which this is really powerful for a free-to-play character. Okay, 6th turn, and then the entire rotation does need to be Uncontrollable Power. So again, Bio Broly is, you know, designed for this setup right here. So it's going to be an attack. He's going to deal ultimate damage to the enemy. He's going to start guarding, and then he's going to draw all attacks towards himself. So it's like on this turn, he's going to essentially have like 90% damage reduction, and he's going to be guarding while working as like a, you know, again, drawing all attacks towards himself. Okay, damage is definitely not the craziest, but that's no biggie right there. All right, so sure. So there it is. So now, Bio Broly, with this up, I mean, I think he would be very competitive against some of the biggest bosses that we could see. Like Goku and Frieza under 50% HP and stuff like that. I mean, with 90% damage reduction or somewhere around there, depending upon the turn, and guard, Bio Broly is, like, he's going to help out. So this team, I mean, once we would get towards the end of the fight, we could have Bio Broly with a target mechanic, we could have Cell Max with a target mechanic, and we could also have in Broly with a revive once the fight has gone on long enough, right? So that is pretty huge. I do think that this Bio Broly is going to be a fairly effective character. I think he's going to be pretty solid. That's kind of the last man on the team. Again, it's this slot would be like Bio Broly, Hirudegarn, some people like LR Turles. I mean, LR Turles is effective, but he doesn't work the best with Int Broly's active skill condition. So I like Bio Broly on Uncontrollable Power. I think that this Bio Broly is probably going to be one of the better free-to-play characters we have ever seen in Dokkan.